Welcome to Computer Tips, Tricks, and Shortcuts. If you have a question, leave us a comment and we will try to answer your question. Now, let's get started. This video is going to cover three different things. First, we're going to talk about the very useful tool, text to columns. You can use this when you download data from, say, another source, and it comes all into Excel in one column, and you need to separate the data in a certain way for you to use it. We're going to talk about paste to values, and we're also going to use the formula concatenate. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to separate the text that's in column A. You're going to highlight column A. You're going to go to the Data tab, go to Text to Columns. We want to choose the first selection. Then you're going to click Next. And then here is the step 2, asking what is your data separated by. Our data is separated by a comma. So let's click that. And down here you see the example of how it's going to separate your data. Now, when you look here, it appears that there is a space in front of the first name. I don't want a space in front of the first name in my cell. I want the data very clean. So we're going to also click space, and then you can see it gets rid of that space in front of the first name. Then we can just say finish right here. Well, the problem is we have data in column B. We don't want that data replaced, because when the data is going to separate, it's going to create another column pushing the first name into column B. So let's cancel it. You need to move data out of the way when you're going to do text to columns. So let's do it again. Highlight column A, text to columns, the same choice. Next. Our boxes are still checked of what we chose, so we can just finish. And then our names have been separated. And so now you can label your columns last name and first name, and use them this way separated. Now, if I need the names put back in one column but the first name in front of the last name, we can do that with the concatenate formula. So let's go into C2. Let's click our insert function, and then I have that formula here already listed. If it wasn't there for you, you would just type it in this box, click go, it will find it for you. It's already here, so, and highlighted, so let's just click OK. And so this formula is going to put different text strings into one text, into one cell. So the first text I want in the cell is the first name, Emma, so I'm going to click there. It shows you what is going in first. Then you're going to tab down, and you're going to hit the space bar because we want a space between the first name and the last name in our column. Tab down, and then you're going to click on the last name, and you can see your example here of how this is going to turn out, and that's what we want. So you're going to click OK. Now you could drag this formula down, hover over the cell on the bottom right. Your cursor will turn into a little black X, and you drag it down and let go. Now, this has the formula still in the cell, and if we're going to use this for other purposes, we don't want that formula relying on column A and B. We need this to be solid data. So the way we do that is highlight the column, you're going to go to Home, and you're going to copy the data, and then you're going to click on the arrow under the paste icon, and it has different ways you could paste things. We're going to go to Paste Values, and you're going to click there. And what that does is it got rid of the formula and just made this the data that the formula created. So now we can move this data elsewhere, do what we need to do, and it's not relying on A and B with the formula. Now, here I have a column where we have birth dates separated by dashes and then the first name. I want the first name in its own column, and so let's highlight column F, go back to Data, Text to Columns. We're going to use this choice again. We're going to click Next. It still has our boxes checked, so let's uncheck them. And we're going to say we want it separated by something else, other. And we're going to type a dash. And now you can see that it separated some of them, because some of the dashes appear to be longer than the other dashes. So let's cancel. And when I've had things happen like this, what I've done is use the Find and Replace function. And that is under your Home tab. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to copy this wide dash. Just go up here in the bar and highlight it and then copy. Then I'm going to go to Find, Replace, and I'm going to paste that long dash I just copied. You click in here and you can hit Control V on your keyboard and it will put that in there. And then we're going to replace it with the regular dash, small dash that's on your keyboard next to 0. And then you're going to say Replace All. I'll just say OK and close. So now all those wide dashes were replaced with the regular small dash that you can click on your keyboard. And so now we should be able to separate them all at the same time. So let's highlight, Data, Text to Columns, Next. Let's make sure I just highlight in there and click on that small dash, make sure that's the right one. And there we go. Now they're all separating because they all have that same dash. And say Finish. So now we do have our first name and our birth dates in separate columns. Now we've got that space in front of the first name that I don't like. So I'm going to highlight this one more time, go to Text to Columns, Next, and I'm going to click Space to get rid of that space. It moved it over to the next column over, but that's okay, you could just drag it back. And so now you have clean data, the name in the cell with a space gone in front of it. So there you have it, very, very useful text to columns tool. Practice it. I'm sure you're going to find many uses for it. Thanks for watching.